It's Garage Talk with Garage Guy Chase, Dale Tanhardt. We're here. Today, we welcome on a driver that we have not had ever in the history of all of Garage Guys. It's Chase Briscoe, Stewart Haas Racing driver, NASCAR Cup Series in the number 14 car, Big Tony guy, also AKA Chase Brisket, as we call him at times. You like barbecue?
No, I hate barbecue.
Do?
But I have said if I ever opened a restaurant, it would be Brisky's Brisket.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Chase
has to be.
Briskets.
Yeah, it has to be.
I totally see that. And I mean, literally the first menu item is Chase Brisket. That's just what
Yeah.
it's called. And you could smoke it. You could wear aprons. You could do all that. You could bring your trophies. You could have them there. I see
Yeah,
them
you
in
can
the
do
corner.
anything.
It'd be fun. It'd be cool. But we're not here to talk about brisket right now. We're here to talk about Hooters because that's what this show is presented by. They serve wings. And right now, if you get over to Hooters and use promo code Garage Guys, you can save $10 on any $30 or more order. And that offer is valid at participating locations for delivery and carry-out orders only. And that's a mug of Hooters that he has there. I don't want to get too deep into it, but Hooters is not rebranding, by the way. So, yeah, that's it's been a big rumor going around. Have you heard the rumors, Chase?
I've not heard that rumor. What
They
rumor is it?
there was a I don't know what account it was, but it got a lot of likes, retweets that Hooters is rebranding because apparently guys do not like boobs anymore, according to studies. It was completely false. But so
Yeah,
hey,
I find that study hard to believe.
thank
Yeah.
you.
It's not
False
real.
alarm, everybody. Hooters
fairy
is staying. They're staying as Hooters, guys. So yeah, use our promo code, type it in on checkout, and you can save $10. Hell of a deal. Promo code Garage Guys.
That's it. So Chase, Christmas break is over, obviously. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're gonna be I'm gonna be sending you a Tony Planet shirt. We've discussed this, so there was definitely some bartering going on. I'm just excited that it's going to good hands. It's a good large, it will fit. And so I feel like that's a good start point. Okay. Obviously, you're fascinated with Tony Stewart,
Oh yeah.
the legend himself, and now you race for him. We've all seen, the pictures, and we've heard interviews. We're not going to sit here and talk about things that the media has already asked you. However, what is one thing or one moment that you remember that the public may not know about? There's just a hilarious moment between you and Tony that's happened. You golf together? Do you do any
No,
of that
haven't
stuff
done
together?
that. Trying to think of. I'll tell you one of my favorite moments. I would say with him, it was when I was with him and Gunter, the Haas F1 guy.
Okay.
And just hearing them two talk is like incredible because every other word's the F word. It's hilarious. They just give each other so much back and forth. But Tony, I would say, like, behind the scenes, people don't realize how funny he is. Like, he can just wear you out, right? Like, if he sees it like bothers you a little bit, that's like opening the wound. He just goes at you. And watching him and Gunter go back and forth is pretty funny because they both just like can't get under each other's skin. They just keep trying harder and harder. So I think SHR's posted like some videos of them back and forth, like just kind of talking. But when they're actually getting after it, it's pretty funny.
On average, how many F-bombs per day do you think Tony Stewart says?
Not near as much as Gunter. Gunter's like literally every other word. Tony's not near that many. I don't know. It depends on the day, I guess, and what he's doing.
Depends on if Chase Briscoe wins or crashes, maybe.
Yeah, it
too.
depends on if I crash or if I do something stupid, so that happens probably a lot. So yeah,
we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Yeah, I could think of a couple times he definitely was probably saying them this past year, but yeah, I would say definitely a few every day.
That's great, dude. Yeah, I love nothing more than good sarcasm, and that's what I've always read from him.
Oh, he's got it.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. That's a big component of the personality. So it's always good to know that you got a driver that's happy with who he is, and also just the legend status of the man. But talking about you a little bit, you have had you've had a wild year. I know that this fella right over here, Dale Tanhardt, took you to win biggest bet of probably, I would say, 2022 at Phoenix. I had
man,
Ross
a hit.
Chastain, so we were
I don't
right
think-
there at the
Oh
line.
yeah,
Plus,
you were mad there at the end when
yeah, I
when
was
he
a little
almost cleared me
upset,
off at
but
2. You were
him
pretty excited.
hitting out of it's so you've got the win. I feel like you've done more than proving yourself in this year, and it's just exciting to see that new generation really of racers coming in, and you being a part of that squad. What has it been like in this new car, and do you feel like you have like a lot of hope for 2023, and do you want to go ahead and just shoot your shot for how many wins that you're going to get this year?
Yeah, it's definitely last year was cool how, the first year, my rookie year, I wasn't really ever competitive at all, with the exception of maybe the Indy race. And last year felt like running up front and battling for wins in the Cup Series is super cool. Just knowing how many people are watching and just the level that it is. But yeah, this year I think, we should be good. I hope. Ford has a different nose, I think. So it'll be a little interesting to kind of see how that plays out. But I think as a company, last year we probably needed a little bit more speed still. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we can win at least a couple and make the playoffs again. That's obviously really important. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to call my shot like I did in the Xfinity deal and say I need 8 to 10 or something crazy like that. But if we could win, 2 to 3, 4 races, I think that'd be a really good year for our third year.
What's it been like at SHR? Because it's interesting. You are like the solid rock right now, right? Like Ryan Preece is coming and taking the 41. All the rumors on if Kevin Harvick's going to be back, right? And then Eric Almirola is retired, and now he's back. Everything's like all over the place except for you. So how turbulent has it been, like SHR, knowing like you've been the main guy who we all believe is going to be with Stewart Haas Racing for, quite a while.
Yeah, it's really a kind of a weird spot for me, truthfully, just being where, that you're probably going to be there for quite a while, hopefully. And, you have Kevin there who is obviously like, that's the guy, right? And I think everybody knows his years are coming to an end. It's just a matter of time of when he finally, steps away. And whenever he steps away, it's going to be a total leadership role that I'm going to have to kind of step into, just because I am kind of that one constant, like you were saying, with Eric, who knows how much longer he's going to go. Ryan's obviously new. And whenever we bring new guys in, from a different team or a lower series, I'm going to be the new guy that's been there the longest. So it's kind of weird knowing that going into this year, next year, and things like that. But just trying to truthfully learn as much as I can from Kevin and even Eric, and just try to watch how they kind of, take that leadership role. And, I'm not the most confrontational guy, where Kevin, doesn't mind confrontation. So how he gets his points across in meetings and things like that is totally different than how I would do it. So just trying to kind of watch him and understand that, I'm probably going to have a little bit more of that in the future to kind of get our company to steer in certain directions. So just trying to pay attention as much as I can and kind of just take mental notes and just try to talk to Kevin and Eric as much as I can about, what I need to do for the future of that place.
How do we get the bull out of Chase Briscoe? How do we
Where's
get
the
that?
grid?
How do we get the Kevin Harvick-esque, like,
I
ready
don't
to
know.
fight?
When I had the helmet on, I feel like I drive like that. I just outside of it, I'm not like that at all. So
But you're in that environment, right? Like you're in this environment, like we were talking about with Tony Stewart, his personality. You got Kevin Harvick. We all know his personality. Yeah. And so I feel like between those two guys, like there's a reason you're there. Like they're not just gonna put somebody at SHR. Like there's a comedy to it, but there's also just like you got that eye on somebody. You just like you throw that eye at them. What was that Zoolander look that they did?
Yeah, the Zoolander.
Yeah, y'all have that. That's SHR in essence. Okay, so yeah, I feel like that has to kind of like beef up and come out at some point as well. So I'm glad Dale said that. So maybe we could maybe do an exercise. Right now we can come together. We can take an oath, where the bull will grow horns this year. You put your right hand up and just say, I'm Chase Briscoe.
I'm telling you, I feel like the bull comes out when I drive. It's just outside of the car. I don't know. I feel like that is one thing that kind of helps me at times, is I don't really get worked up. Like I can get drove through and I'm not going to get mad. Like I don't lose my temper as much as some guys, but I feel like the horns come out too much sometimes when I'm driving and just do stupid stuff because I'm trying too hard. But yeah, truthfully, I don't ever see myself fighting like Tony and Kevin do. But hey,
Unless you
never
have the
know.
helmet on. So you just keep the
No,
you're going to get a lot of shit for that.
If we fight, I'm taking the helmet off the fight. That drives me nuts. So
Yeah.
I might get my ass absolutely rocked, but I can guarantee you I'm going to take my helmet off.
Hey, all right, that's all good
that.
stuff. I respect the ability to keep your composure, right? Like I do respect that aspect, but talking about the on track stuff leads me into a good segue. So we talked about Phoenix, which was awesome. I think I was probably the only person that picked you to win that race, and you were 50-1. And that
50-1. I thought it was like 25 or 30-1.
No, it was 50. Dude. It was 50-1. Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. But that's the good side of my experience with Chase Briscoe. The bad side is coming up, but I always introduce this to the new drivers. This is the Wall of Dale. I categorize drivers based off of their betting performance for me personally, right? Like not for the world, not how good Chase Briscoe does, like how many wins he got, how much profit I make. And Austin Cindric stays in the dead to Dale slot until he apologizes for what he did in the Daytona 500. And then David Starr for crashing Noah Gragson. This is a good spot where BJ McLeod is. I don't know if you can see that. And then Martin Truex stays.
BJ's a hero.
Yeah, he's the sports guy of the week. And I gave that award to him. Yeah, basically every week. Yeah. He has the best hair in the garage. So like that's a big deal to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Truex down here stays in prison because he's been like the worst performing betting driver for me.
So what did Cindric do for the 500? Did you bet Blaney?
Well, there was some buildup before that though. Like when he was in the Xfinity series, I would always bet on him, and something crazy would happen, and he would lose, right? And when I would bet on him, he was always a heavy favorite in 2021 because he was a top dog, and he won the championship the year prior. And then when he lost to Daniel Hemrick on the last lap, it was just the worst thing ever for me. And then we come into Daytona, and I mean, I've got the house on Ryan Blaney, man. I mean, I also had money on you too. And you came up through there at the end, which was nice, but for only first place counted here. And Blaney had the run on the outside, and Cindric put him on the wall. We were in Blaney's pit stall watching it happen. It was just the worst thing ever. It was the worst thing.
I could see why you got him in jail then.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. No,
he's
it's
in
good.
jail center. That's where
I know he's a Ford guy. He's one of your Ford compadres. But look, I got to be fair. You've been on the good side a lot this year. But what I wanted to talk about was the bad side of Chase Briscoe.
Oh gosh,
I had the retirement, and Chase got bailed out on this one because he had Kyle Busch. But I had the retirement.
One of the only people that Kyle that race. So
yes,
no hard feelings, no harm, no foul.
Bristol Dirt. I had the retirement fund on Tyler Reddick, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's ironic because I never had an interaction with you before, and you probably don't remember this, but I was wearing a Ken Schrader number 25 Budweiser shirt.
At Darlington?
No, it was actually at Bristol. It was at Bristol.
It's Darlington every week.
I remember seeing you at Darlington. I remember seeing you at Darlington one year.
It was Bristol
last year.
I think it was Bristol because that day you walked past and you said, "Dude, that shirt is sick," and I was like. I went back and I saw Chase in the garage, and I was like, dude, Chase Briscoe just complimented my shirt. I really like that guy. Like, no interaction. And then later that night, you took out Tyler.
Like, I hate that guy.
I was like, I fucking hate that guy.
I was just like, hey, it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
I love Tyler. We love Tyler. We're big Tyler Red Dog guy.
Like,
Red
Tyler's
Dog's
awesome.
the man. We love him to death. When you guys were coming around that corner, man, I was just already in the mindset like Tyler won, like we all win, yay! And then that happened, and I was just like, oh shit! And then the next thing you know, Kyle comes through, and I didn't even realize that I had bet on Kyle in that moment because we were so hyped for Tyler, right? But when you go back and look at the replay and you see it all boil down, it was an amazing aggressive move, and it's the kind of shit we want to see out of NASCAR. Unfortunate for us bettors at times. That's not your problem.
I don't know if I'd call it an amazing move. I at the time,
it looked cool on camera.
That it's just so hard, like in that position, because I'd ran Tyler down. Like I think I got to second finally with like 12 to go, and he was like almost a straightaway ahead of me, and I just started kind of sending caution to the wind and just running the top as hard as I could. And I caught him like literally the last lap. So you did all that work to get there. Your heart rate's kind of getting up, like your adrenaline's pumping. And I knew I was better in 1 and 2 than him. And I was like practically on his bumper off of 2. So you're like, well, this is your one shot. Like, you're going to have to go for it. And, you know, growing up dirt racing, you know, when you have a run like that, I mean, you could even be 4 car lengths back going into the corner, and you can just throw a slider. Well, so like naturally, that's just what I was going to go do. And as soon as I went in the corner, I was like, oh man, I'm in a 3,500 pound car that's not going to do this. And as soon as I went in the corner, I knew that I was not going to do what I thought I was going to be able to do. And I just remember looking in my mirror and seeing Tyler and just holding it wide open, just trying everything I could to stay off of him. And just, I mean, I didn't hit him that hard, but I hit him hard enough to where it just spun him out. And I just remember being like just devastated for Tyler too, because he was going to win his first race. And I felt like I took that away from him. So yeah, I got out after the race and took my helmet off and walked down there fully expecting to get punched in the mouth and kind of wanting to be honest with you. Felt like I deserved it. And, you know, Tyler was obviously really cool about it. I think it helped that he was a dirt guy. You know, probably him, Bell, and Larson were the only guys in the field that would have understood that move and kind of what I was going for. But yeah, not my brightest moment by any means, but hopefully this year can get some redemption.
You turn the car into, like, in your mind, that lets me know that like you completely faded out what you're driving. You were driving a sprint car in that moment in your brain.
I mean, yeah, because you're just running the top so hard. Like, it's hard at that. Like, I would have loved to have caught him with 5 to go, you know, and been able to like actually try some stuff. But when you do all that work and you catch him and you literally have one corner to try to win the race, like that's it. Like, that's your one shot. I mean, I wasn't going to drive around him on the top, and the bottom was terrible. I wasn't just going to follow him and like know that I had a faster car and just run second. And with how our series is, like, you have to try to win races if you can, because it's so heavy loaded that way. So I felt like that was my only opportunity to win the race. And if I would have known it was going to wreck him, then I wouldn't have done it. But at the time, I thought that I could go in there and slide him. And because I kind of slid other people, but it was always on restarts when we weren't up to speed. So I thought I could do it at full speed, but definitely can't.
So you accepted.
Yeah. All jokes aside, that I thought it was an amazing race. And I remember standing there next to Chase, and I was like, I think with like 7 or 8 to go, I was like, dude, the only guy that can pass right now is Briscoe. I mean, like, he's fucking flying. Like, and I
good.
I manifested. I caused that to happen with bad energy, and you know, you
made him
really
so
what was
a sprint car. See, we're big mind power guys. You know what I mean?
What was Tyler that race?
I think he was so as a dirt guy, they had like a lot of the dirt guys, like Bell and Larson were the favorites. And then I think like Chase Elliott and Denny, and they kind of faded you, because I remember in practice you guys were like P28 or something.
Yeah, I wasn't very good in practice.
It's not smart of them.
And then I think Tyler Reddick was
everybody forgets I was a dirt guy, I think.
Yeah,
but see, that's good for people like us, Chase. So you know what I'm saying? We'll come in. You know,
I think Reddick was around 10 or 11 to 1. So like $100 pays out, $1,100.
Yeah.
But,
so my 50 to 1 still has me on the good side.
Yes, it does.
I'm trying to get at.
And
you're not on any bad side over here in the garage.
No.
You could. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, there's no way. Well, I'll never say never, but it's going to be tough.
I was going to say, we got a long year ahead of us.
Yeah, it could happen. But that leads me to another same kind of point. Like, talk about the Bristol thing, and then Charlotte, which was another amazing race, where you were there at the end. Super exciting. You went for it. You went for it and kind of spun out or whatever. And I love that mentality. Personally, I love that mentality that it's just going to go for it. I really do. It does suck as a bettor sometimes because it can shake things up. But for the sake of the health of the sport, I think like Ross Chastain is that kind of guy. I think he's great for the sport. And your moments where you've been that guy, even dating back to the Xfinity series, love it. But do you like, because there's been a lot of memes that on Twitter and stuff. I
Yeah.
don't know if you've seen him, that you're like the full send motherfucker. Like, do you like that? Like,
Yeah.
do you want to be that guy, or like how do you
I
feel
mean,
about that kind of talk?
it'd be a lot cooler if I ever pull it off instead of always wrecking. But I don't know. I feel like I've only done it twice, and the one time, like, yeah, it was like full send, like let's go for it. That was Bristol, but then
It'll always be
like,
overblown.
yeah, but like Charlotte, like I legitimately just spun out. Like I wasn't even trying to slide Kyle. Like I still to this day don't really know how I spun out. So that one, like I will say, like I'm always really good about just forgetting the race and moving on. That's like the one race that still just bothers me because I was gonna win a crown jewel and I still don't know how I spun out. I've watched the replay in slow-mo I don't know how many times and I cannot figure it out because I wasn't going in there trying to pass him. Like I was just trying to get to his left rear and I spun out. But yeah, I think the memes are funny though. Like I saw the Zoolander one of me and Reddick at Bristol Dirt the other week. That one was hilarious.
That one was funny. That meme has been insane. Like for anything. I made one with Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte at Bristol.
I want my Terry car back, by the way, too. I'm a little upset. You're disrespecting it too much.
You'll get him back. Oh,
yeah. Another one, the General Chase Briscoe too. That's a fun one. I mean, I know it's OG. It's
I forgot about that one. Yeah, you big Andrew Luck guy? You like to be compared to him?
Everybody says when I have my beard and during COVID, I look just like him. But I mean, he kind of did us dirty at the Colts. But I mean, seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, big robot.
Like, we're still recovering. We're still recovering from Andrew Luck.
Oh, it's been like a quarterback carousel since he left.
Yeah, I think we've had 8 quarterbacks.
Make him apologize.
Dude, I would love just to have him do an interview. I don't think he's done anything.
Yeah, why don't we call him? We're going to find a way to get Andrew Luck and have Chase Briscoe interrogate him.
That's going to be tough.
Hey, let's do it. I wish he was on like Sunday Conversation with Barstool or something like that. I feel like that would be a good guy to have.
Yeah, I'm sure they've reached out. They have to have reached out to him at some point because he would be amazing on there.
Yeah, he's like off the grid, I think.
Kind of
like
I
know he came to a Colts game, and I want to say he got booed if I remember right.
That's sad, man, because he was still a great
dude. He was good
player, you know. And you can't. I feel like maybe he could have handled it a little bit differently, but you can't blame him for what he went through. You know, like Luke Kuechly.
Yeah,
I'm a big Luke Kuechly, retired early, like amazing player, but dude, those guys put their bodies through some hellacious kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't blame him one bit.
And mountains to climb, you know, the things to read.
I would not want to be getting hit by a 350-pound lineman week after week.
No, and you're in good positions here. And speaking of football, I think we've had some good conversations here. I definitely hope we have some more this season. It's always fun, but let's talk about some football. Let's talk about some things that you can actually bet on and talk about with us. You know, legally, without you getting in trouble.
Legally.
Legally. So it's time for our new famous segment, Wheelman Wagers. And this week on Wheelman Wagers, we have discussed a few NFL games. Since it is the last week of the NFL, I feel like we should just go all out again on the NFL. So we've got 3 games that we're going to present to you, Chase, and we are going to allow you to make picks for NASCAR fans, NFL fans, and ourselves maybe to tail and see if we can run the gauntlet and you can, be the first driver to go 3-0 maybe. Who knows?
All right.
So let's figure it out.
I feel like week 17 is super tricky though.
Which this isn't the last week of the season. We got 2 weeks left, don't we?
Oh yeah, we do have 2 weeks. But still,
you forget
got some teams that have already clinched. You got some teams that have clinched, like they're not trying that hard. The end of the season's hard.
Mm-hmm. This is where a man gets made right here. So this is the tough stuff.
This is where you become a man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it.
Let's kick it off.
I will start with the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Huge game for the NFC South. If the Panthers win, they are in control. If the Bucs win, they are in control. The spread is -3 for Tampa, over under 40.5. Panthers are a +150 underdog, and the Bucs are a -175 favorite. Tell us where we should go for your first bet for NFL Sunday.
Man, this one's hard because the Panthers have looked really good the last couple of weeks. Their run game's been really good, but I just feel like with Tom Brady, I don't know. This game could go one of two ways. It could either come down to the very last second and Tom makes some crazy drive at the end, or it's going to be literally like a 20-point blowout. And the Panthers are just going to dominate them. But I'm going to go with Tampa Bay Buccaneers, just money line. I just feel like you can't bet against Tom Brady with a playoff spot. I mean, this potentially is probably his last year, so he's going to be doing everything he can to win. And I just feel like the last couple of weeks they had games that they probably were going to lose, and he's like somehow gutted it out. So I feel like this week, especially knowing what's on the line, it's hard to bet against Tom.
As a Panthers fan, I probably agree. Sadly.
Yeah, I don't like minus signs in front of my bets. Let's go to the next.
Let's
go to the next
I normally
bet.
never. I'm normally a big plus guy.
All right. Well, we gonna see. We're gonna find out here. So let's go to the next bet here. Patriots Dolphins, an AFC North matchup,
East.
up in the New
East.
England territory. We have the spread is at 3 with the Patriots favored. We have the over under set at 41, and the Miami Dolphins are plus 135. The Patriots minus 155. Where are we going?
You said the spread was 3.
Spread is at 3. It's minus 3 for the Patriots, plus 3 for the Dolphins.
All right, I'm gonna. I just said I was a big plus guy, but I'm gonna go Patriots here because with Tua being out, up in New England, Belichick's gonna be wanting to get the win. Miami's used to the warm weather, so I'm gonna go without Tua. I think the Patriots are gonna cover that.
I'll give you that one. That's okay.
That spread is so weird to me, right? Like,
yeah, I think that spread is really weird too, personally.
It's kind of a fishy one, and like on DraftKings, it's for the Dolphins plus 3, it's minus 115, and the Patriots minus 3 is minus 105. So the Dolphins are favorites to cover too. So fishy. That's like a stay away from me. But if Tua doesn't play, you would think New England.
If Tua doesn't play, I think New England definitely covers.
I would agree with you on that. And Chase, that's AFC East. You got to get your divisions right, Chase. Garage Guy Chase, it is. That's
They're
AFC
up north.
East.
It's hard sometimes.
I guess you're right. They are north, but this is the AFC East.
I'm just gonna bleep that out. AFC, like that.
That's fine.
Yeah, there we go. All
right. Final game. Our compadre Connor Daly also has this game in his slate for this Sunday. Another big matchup: Vikings at the Packers. Vikings have clinched the NFC North. Packers have to win out to earn a wild card spot. Spread once again, all 3 games. Minus 3 for the home team, Green Bay, plus 3 for the Minnesota Vikings. Over under at 47.5. Packers are minus 180 favorites. Vikings are plus 155 for the final bet of Wheelman Wagers. Chase Briscoe, what are we looking at?
So I was going to take the under on this game, but I think I'm going to go with the over now. For some reason, I thought it was more than 47.5. So I think I'm going to take the over now that I heard it and thought about it for a second. I think it's going to be a lot of scoring. Minnesota can definitely put a lot of points on the board really quickly. And then so can the Packers, though. So I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be just slinging it, knowing that he has to get the win. So I'm going to take the over in that game and see if I can go 3 for 3.
There it is. Mark it down. I like that. I hate betting unders, man. I hate it.
I do too.
It's
unders
so
aren't
not
near as
fun
fun to bet.
Right.
It's a negative feeling coming out. Like you're just trying to cast like just
you're like mad every time they score.
It's the worst.
You want
like
abundance.
Unders
you don't want to underestimate anything. So
unders are like more profitable, but it's just the worst when you bet on them. Like you're just in pain the whole game. You're like, please don't.
What's
score.
like the worst like bet you've made where you're just cheering wrong the whole time, like just miserable?
Probably. I would say it would be a NASCAR bet. Probably betting on Austin Cindric to win the pole a few times this year, because it's like I don't want him to win it, but it will help my financial situation if he does. But for football, I don't know, man. It'd have to be an under. Like the other night, I took I don't know how much you keep up with college football, but I took the under in the Wisconsin-Oklahoma State game. and it hit, but it was like miserable waiting for it to hit. Like you didn't even want to watch it, you know?
Yeah. I think I went to a Kansas City Royals. I'm trying to think who they were playing. I think the Tigers. And me and my buddy went, and we're like, let's just get as much action on the table as we can get. So we had like their pitcher to have more than 5 strikeouts for the Royals, but then the Tigers, we were betting them to have so many hits. So like every time they get a hit, we were cheering. Every time they get a strikeout, we were cheering. Like we were sitting around, we're like, what in the heck are these guys doing? What's your worst bad beat outside of Cindric?
Oh, Tyler Reddick, when you wrecked him, is at least at least top 3. At least top 3. I think Blaney you said besides Cindric. All time has got to, and this is why David Starr is up here, even though it wasn't his fault. But when Noah Gragson was leading at Miami,
Owen Homestead.
Yeah. And not only for betting, I had I'm not a big DFS guy where you make lineups, whatever, but that night I had a perfect lineup. It was in first place. It was like $180 worth of entries, about to win about 18 grand. I was about to win one tournament and finish second in another one. And I had David Starr in that DFS lineup too, as like my underdog play. And then when he crashed Gragson, it was all like zero. All my bets went to zero. It was tough. That's got to be the worst.
I love March Madness, and I had this parlay. It was like a $25 parlay I had. It was going to pay, let's say it was like $8,000. It was something crazy. And I'd hit, I think it was an 8-game parlay. I hit the first 7 games. And it came down to, if I remember right, it was Colgate and Wisconsin. And the spread was like 8 points or something like that. And Wisconsin's up 9, so they're going to cover. And somehow I was almost going to lose it at the end. And like Wisconsin got the ball back, got fouled, some stupid foul with like 8 seconds left, hit both free throws. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to cover this. Colgate goes down with 1.3 seconds left. It's a layup.
Oh, man.
That's the worst.
The guy falls down like all the way to the bucket, falls down, like laying on his back, tosses it over to this guy that I somehow remember this, like tosses it, should have totally been a travel, hits a layup, 1.3 seconds left, and I lose the parlay.
Isn't it amazing how Vegas is so close on all that?
It's unbelievable.
It's heartbreaking.
It's literally unbelievable.
It's impressive. Yeah. Like I love
I'm
Scott
convinced the refs know.
Oh man, they have to, right? Like
there's no way they don't.
It hurt. Yeah. I've been on the bad end on that.
They can't get it that close every single time.
It's like we got refs in like white robes with candles, like doing initiations in the bottom. Like this, a secret society of refs, dude. They know.
Like they have to know what the spread is, or not even the spread, but like the over under. Because I mean, like think about in basketball, you could change the whole complexion just calling fouls. Like you can send them to the free throw line so often, like
100 times.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can really, like even football, like if you just spot the ball, like you can give them 20, 30 yards over the course of a game fairly easily. I don't know. I just find it odd how often it is spot on. Hey, I'll tell you another good bet that you could do is pay attention to Chicago when the Cubs are playing and the wind in Wrigley Field.
Okay.
Like the over under on homers. Pay attention to the wind.
Where's the wind? Okay, hold on.
I remember at left field.
All right.
So if it's heavy winds you'd have to go look it up. I read about it one day and I started doing it. It works pretty well.
Really? I'm not a big baseball guy. But
how is the wind being generated in this way?
I'm just talking like if they're having 20, 30 mile an hour winds in Chicago, like I forget what direction it's blowing, then it's blowing like right at home plate. So like always take the under pretty much. But if they got like, the wind carrying them, I think it's left field at Wrigley. It's pretty short. Dude, they just bomb them out of there all day long.
That's how Vegas knows, dude. They watch the weather. They're avid weather watchers. All right, but for basketball, it's a different story.
Well, like I will say the Cubs, the like home run totals normally, like the wind does definitely dictate it, even on the bets. But if you really pay attention to it, I had a buddy kind of turn me onto it, and it definitely hits way often more than it does.
First time, all right. When we get back to baseball season, I'll do it, and I will tag you and be like, all right. If I win a bet, actually no. If I lose a bet, I will tag you too and be like, "Oh yeah, thanks, didn't work."
Yeah,
but if it
should go
does,
well,
hopefully it does.
don't bet the house on it.
Let's
That's
do
not
that.
how we operate here, Chase. We
No.
bet the house and everything.
Yeah. Well, no, we're going to
Scared
Chicago.
money don't make money.
We're going to
That's
it. Yeah,
Chicago.
they play at
Is that going to be
Wrigley when
during
we're there.
baseball season?
Yeah, they play Cleveland is who they're playing when we're there.
There we go. It sounds like we've got a date. We need to go to the game.
I'll definitely be there. One of my buddies just got traded to the Cubs, so I'll definitely be there.
Wait, who's
Shout
that?
out to him.
Tucker Barnhart.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know that.
Two-time Gold Glover.
That's cool.
Catcher,
baby.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, we got to
watch some old baseball movies now.
We'll definitely get into that. We'll get into that betting strategy. Look at that. Legitimate betting advice from Chase Briscoe himself.
I don't know about legitimate, but
okay, we'll call it just betting.
I don't know if
betting advice.
Just betting talk, I guess.
Briscoe the baseball boy.
It's not advice unless you start winning.
That's true. Yeah. We gotta wait. We gotta wait a while before the results come through.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna be cooking up a shit ton of baseball nicknames for you now, just because of this one talk. So, get ready for that this year.
All righty. I'll be looking forward to it.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, Chase, thanks so much for being on Garage Talk again. You can follow Chase Briscoe anywhere. He is a public figure. He is a NASCAR driver. It's is it at Chase Briscoe?
At Chase Briscoe, I think _14 is what I think it is. I had to change it because I had a number 5 on it forever. Yeah. Chase, I think I almost say I'm 99% sure it's Chase Briscoe _14.
Okay. Well, there it is right there. You got that. You know where to follow me and Dale at Garage Guy Chase at Dale Tanhardt. And again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Go and make these bets. It's time. And we will see you again soon, Garage fam. Adios.